We're back at the Sydney Entertainment and Convention Centre here. Semi-final day of the 2012 Yonex Australian Badminton Open. We have been treated to some fantastic badminton, whether it be in women's or men's singles, in the doubles or the mixed doubles. And we have another mouth-watering encounter coming up for you now between the #1 seed, Chen Jin of China, a man desperate to break in to the world top 4 rankings. He's up against the Indonesian Santoso, who's the #3 seed here, and world #9. He was as high as world #3 back in 2009. The Indonesian Santoso. He can expect some big support here in the crowd in Sydney as well. This sold-out crowd for semi-finals day. And of course, Chen Jin of China, the #1 seed and world #5, ex-world #1, 2010 world champion in Paris. Can expect a fair little bit of support as well, I suspect. I'm joined by Stuart Brill for this one, former Australian singles national champ. And this is going to be a great match in the offing.
Absolutely, Robbie. We've got a typically Chinese player, being Chen Jin, and his style is typically Chinese. And then we've got a very typical Indonesian style, being Santoso, and has that ability to move around the court very gracefully, but also has that jump smash that he almost hangs in the air.
Well, there we see how they got this far, and for Santoso, well, he's been pushed a little bit in the last 2 rounds in the quarterfinals against Sean Won-ho of Korea Republic. Again, losing that second game. And on 2 occasions, his last 2 occasions, losing that second game pretty comprehensively as well, but managing to turn things around. A little bit hot and cold so far. It'll be a different story up against Chen Jin, the #1 seed here, #5 in the world. In the head-to-head between these two, he has very much the upper hand, as we see, making light work of the Australian Nathan David. And then, if anything, just finding his range in that opening round, and since then it's been very much plain sailing, even the push from Takuma Ueda in the quarterfinal. We're going to have the final men's semi-final coming right up. It promises to be an absolute cracker. Stay with us. Well, Chen Jin, he is the man to beat. The man coming here, he was the man to beat. And Stuart, if anything, it's because not he's desperate to win the Australian Open, but he needs a few points, doesn't he? Because such is the depth in China that even the #5 in the world isn't guaranteed a place at the Olympic Games.
Absolutely. Olympic Games, you're required to have 3 people ranked in the top 4 to qualify all 3 in the Olympics, and there's 2 players ahead of him at the moment, so he really needs to win this one to cement his spot in the top 4 and claim that 3rd position for China, which will allow them to, I hope for them, control that men's singles draw.
And make sure there's more Olympic gold coming their way. Well, Sydney, for so many, is the sunshine and the surf, and that is perhaps the most famous beach of them all, Bondi Beach in Sydney's eastern suburbs, just the south side of the harbour, where the surf is high and the sun is always strong. And here we are in another sellout at Darling Harbour, the Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre. Home all week to this world-class badminton venue that they have installed. All the players delighted to be here, delighted to be part of it. And our final men's semi-final as they just check the flight.
Ladies and gentlemen,
one last time, this for a place
Chen Jin,
in the 2012 Australian Badminton Open final against Vietnam's Chen Jin, who qualified earlier today by defeating the defending champion, Sasaki. Huge support, as expected, for the Indonesian. Simon Santoso. Can he cause the upset? Australian chair umpire. And great aggressive first point as well from Santoso.
1-love.
Simon's known to be very smooth around the court and just breathes around the court and sometimes has a very defensive style, but we've seen him over this week actually improve that, and he's now got a real attacking flair to his game as well.
Well, that's very much. You mentioned at the top of the programme, Stuart, that Chen Jin has a very Chinese style of play. That's very much just a relentless battering ram, isn't it? Just stepping up and taking the game point after point after point, shot after shot to your opponent.
That's right, and with his extra height that he has over Simon, and he has that ability to jump up and get those really steep shots to come down and really put a lot of pressure on Simon, which is what he's trying to negate there by taking every opportunity to attack the shuttle and bring the shuttle down.
It's long and wide from Simon Santoso. Chen Jin reading the flight of it immediately. These two have met 7 times previously on the circuit. Just long. Great awareness.
Very good control by Chen Jin. Just moving Santoso to the back corners, bringing him forward, then moving him back again, and really not giving too much opportunity to a smash from attacking positions. But Simon's still trying to get that shuttle to come down, which makes that defence just a little bit easier for Chin.
I mentioned they've played 7 times previously. Just 1 win for the Indonesian. 6 victories for Chen Jin. The first back in the Swiss Open of 2007. The most recent last year at the Jarum Indonesian Open. So he's got the wood on his opponent. And Chen Jin leads 4-1 in this opening game.
I have been keeping an eye on Chen Jin throughout the week, and actually after a few of the early singles matches I did see the coach take him over to the practice courts and give him half an hour worth of footwork. So I think he's looking to peak for these next 2 matches, being the semi-final and possibly the final, and then and certain qualification of the Olympics, and then move on to some hard training after that in preparation for the Olympics.
Landed in. Fabulous point from Simon Santoso. Well, that's the beauty of the timing of this Australian Badminton Open this year, isn't it? Coming as one of the last tournaments before all the national selections and the selection process for the Olympic Games. There's so much at stake, and you see it in a player of Chen Jin's quality that he's anything but assured a place in the Olympic Games. And just a couple of unforced errors as well. Creeping into his game. It's all about focus, isn't it? Staying disciplined.
That's right, it is, and at this level you can't afford to give away too many easy points, but he is playing a very calculated game at the moment. We haven't seen any of the big hard smash attack that he's known for, so it's quite interesting. He's changed his style to try and put Simon off a little bit.
completely took his eye off the shuttlecock, did he, there for a moment, I think, Simon Santoso. You don't see that very often.
No, I think he might have been thinking it was just going to go long or out the sideline, and then last minute, oops, no, I need to hit that one.
Well, not one for the show reel. One best forgotten, perhaps, by Simon Santoso. It was just as he was coming back into the game, and I was just going to say, if Chen Jin decides to, you know, not play such an aggressive style and invite Simon Santoso into the game like that, where he gets the point with a fabulous smash down the line. You wonder if you're not playing into his hands, just building up his confidence.
I think so. I think Chen believes in himself, and he's got that ability to go to that next level reasonably quickly in the match. And I think we might see that at some stage. He might just put some pressure on with a few more attacking shots when he thinks they're needed. But initially, very calculated in the way he's playing.
Well, it's all square at 5-5 in this opening game. Simon Santoso delighting the fans as well in attendance here. Brilliant point from Simon Santoso, who leads by 1-6-5. And Stuart, you've played in Indonesia as well. You know the racket the fans can make, the noise when they support their players, and you get that behind a player, it can lift them as well.
Oh, absolutely. They're crazy in Indonesia when you play over there. There's drums, there's whistles, there's bells, there's anything that makes a bit of noise, and they constantly play it through every rally, through every point, to the stage where they start calling the lines too for the lines umpires. They'll certainly yell out if they think it's wrong or right, or especially if an Indonesian hits it, it's always in. So it's quite exciting to play over in Indonesia, actually. It's a great experience.
Well, we might have a little bit of Indonesia here in the centre of Sydney soon. Simon Santoso,
7-5.
the number 3 seed against the top seed, against the world number 5, Chen Jin of China. And he's just starting to show that he is every bit Chen Jin's equal at the moment. Again, it's a 3-point game. Simon Santoso, 8-5.
I was surprised that one didn't get smashed straight back down the line, actually. He went for that extra, a little bit extra on that one, and really I think just that smash straight down the line would have been an option to look at for that one.
Simon.
Both players taking their time, not to be rushed. Well, that was unlucky from Simon that time. It's a great pickup already from Chen Jin just to stay in the game.
That's right.
The point.
And that had a little bit extra on it, that one, I think. That was going for the line.
Shuttle.
Just with a couple of those, the force of those smashes has just collapsed that shuttle slightly, so the players are very keen to change at any time there's anything wrong with the shuttle at all.
Well, they are hitting it very, very hard out there, but we are going through almost a point at the moment. There it is again, with that one missing quite comfortably in the end. And that's just opened the door a little bit for Chen, those two misses on the smash.
Simon just taking a little bit of extra time between each point too, and I think that's probably as a result of the amount of attacking that he's been playing. That can sometimes take it out of you more than the defensive side of things. So the big jump smashes and the fast movement around the court can sometimes cause you to fatigue just that little bit quicker. Although that one seemed to work very well.
Well, that's because he's taking that little bit of time in between each point. He can keep on jumping.
He's even asked for a let, which is, again, a little bit unusual this early on in the match. But the umpires decided to grant the let, so he does get a small break to have a towel and have a bit of a drink.
Well, he's leading 9-7 over the top seed Chen Jin. Just wanting to have a bit of a towel down. It's a full house here at the Sydney Convention and Exhibition Centre, so there's plenty of noise as well. Perhaps the temperature's just starting to rise a little bit down on the court side as well. Too much angle.
8-9.
Just took a little bit off that smash actually. That wasn't a full-blooded smash. That was just a three-quarter one, which gave Simon just that little bit extra time, which he wasn't expecting, and he overhit that cross-court block.
Long from Chen Jin, about half a foot long as well.
10.
So it is still just taking him a little bit of time to find his feet here. After what was a confident start, Simon Santoso playing out of his skin.
Let's play it again. I didn't see it. 10-8.
Well, replay the point because the linesman at that far end was unsighted. Chen Jin didn't like the call, but it'll be a replay point. Santoso leads 11-8. Well, it has been a very impressive display so far from Simon Santoso, Stuart.
It has Simon's taken every opportunity to hit that shuttle down the line, and also cross-court too, so some very strong attacking shots. But Chen has just seemed to be that little bit lackadaisical around the court, and not putting the pressure on at the net that he needs to, and a little bit too keen to flick off the net too, which gives Simon a chance to hit that down. I think I'd like to see a few more net shots to create the shuttle coming up to him, which might give him a chance to attack a little bit better.
20 seconds.
But he's certainly playing a very defensive game at this stage.
Well, we saw it in his first match back in round one. He was just a little bit, not overconfident, almost a little bit rusty coming out of the blocks, and just needs to find his stride again here. Well, the Indonesian hero, gold medalist at Sydney 2000, and without doubt one of the greatest badminton players of all time, Taufik Hidayat, was eliminated out of the competition at the quarter-final stage, but it's his compatriot Simon Santoso now who is wowing the crowd in this semi-final against the top seed Chen Jin. And Santoso is doing just that, 263 kilometers an hour.
12-8.
The smash as he opens up a 4-point buffer.
We see it there, set up with a couple of fast flat shots, and then that awkward lift from Chen Jin, and Simon just being able to put that away with some power. little bit strange that Chen Jin take the opportunity to hit that shuttle down with some force. He had a chance to jump up and hit that one for a winner, and just chose to clear, which allowed Simon to get back into the game. And again, another powerful smash, 262 kilometres an hour.
Well, he's finding plenty of power. He's not as tall as his opponent from China either.
There we go. I think that's the kind of game style that Chen Jin needs to play, and he does possess those very sharp smashes.
Well, it was just crisp, wasn't it? It wasn't flamboyant, it wasn't spectacular. Just whacked straight down the line. But again, it's Simon moving him around the court, looking to make things happen.
13. Shuttle.
He's consistently looking to bring Chen Jin into the net and drag him forward, and then create that opportunity for that strong attacking that he does possess. But that one obviously just overhit slightly.
Well, that's part of playing against a player like Chen Jin, isn't it? The top seed, you know you have to go for the lines. You
That's
know
right.
you have to go for the angles.
Yep. Otherwise, it's coming back every time.
I wonder how much
13.
of an effect the drift is having in these games as well. I mean, the players have been here all week, but not necessarily with the full house that we had yesterday and we have today. And Chen Jin just does seem to be, apart from struggling a couple of times with his judgment on the high ball, but just allowing the shuttle to be up there a lot, spend a lot of time in the air, and just allow Simon Santoso to make the mistake himself.
That's right, and I think the end that Simon's at the moment is certainly the tougher end to play at too. So I'll be interested to see the next set, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chen does come out much more attacking in the second set when he's up that end, which is a little bit harder to lift to. But certainly the air conditioning, with this amount of people in the stadium and with the air conditioning on, the shuttle does move around a little bit, and you will find that it does follow a certain pattern though, so the players are able to get used to it reasonably quickly.
It's landed in. That's what that's all about, finding those lines.
14. Line judge.
I think what Chen's saying is that he doesn't like the fact that Simon signals to the line judge once he's left the shuttle. So you're not supposed to make any display of whether you believe the shuttle's in or out. The line judge needs to make that call, and Chen's just having a word to the umpire to make sure he keeps an eye on Simon calling the lines, just to help out the line judge now and again.
Well, he's got the better part of the supporters in the stands as well, doing that for him already. Simon, he doesn't need to that time. It's called in, it's called good. And so
15.
we edge closer to the end of this first game, and still the reaction from Chen Jin is not forthcoming at the moment.
Disguised the big smash with a soft drop as a result of, I think, probably breaking a string by the look of it, and realised that if he had hit with any power, the shuttle could have gone anywhere, so he's decided to use the thing and then asked to change the racket.
A brilliant shot in the circumstances as well, completely catching out Chen Jin. So the new racket does come out. Does that upset a player's rhythm?
Not really. All the rackets would be strung at a very similar tension. So, and most of the time they're strung the night before or that day. So they're all freshly restrung, and he does get a chance to have a couple of quick hits to make sure it's okay. But normally not too much of a problem. If anything, the smash might just come off a little bit harder now.
Good again, Chen Jin. He watched it carefully all the way down into the line as well. It's a 5-point game in this first game. Best of 3 for a place in the final against Tien Minh Nguyen of Vietnam. Starting to see just a few unforced errors coming in to both players' game now.
That's right. They're both just trying to hit every line almost, and the players are leaving a couple, and a majority are dropping in at the moment.
14-17.
5 points becomes a 3-point game. Chen Jin responds.
Excellent rally, some magnificent net play, and then possibly Simon hitting one that was maybe just travelling wide at some stage. That one there, that might have been going out. And the short clear was put away easily.
There's a real efficiency of movement, isn't there, in this smash?
That's right, and excellent jump smash. And you see when they jump smash too, they're jumping as if they're going forward too. So if the next one does come over, they're able to cover that court. The last thing you want to be doing is jumping backwards, because obviously it makes the court so big.
That one misses, and all of a sudden, what was a 5-point lead for Simon Santoso at 17-12 is now a 1-point game. Chen serving at 16-17.
Overruled by the umpire.
Overruled.
It did look out from where we were sitting. We certainly both jumped up off the seat. So, and I think this is what Chen Jin's able to do. He's able to reel off these points in a row, which can cause a problem for the opposition, especially at this level. And he's just reeled off 4 points in a row, and now it's 17 all. He has that ability just to increase that speed when he needs to and put some real pressure on the opponent. I won't be surprised if we see a couple of big attacking shots if he gets the opportunity here.
He just went up and showed Simon Santoso the couple of centimetres he felt it was out as well. It's pretty tense out there between these two. All square at 17 apiece. Well, that misses wide. It was great hustle from Santoso.
It was. We see here how important it is to control the net, and those early couple of shots there was extremely close to the net, forcing Chen to lift the shuttle, which gave Simon the opportunity to get that attack.
All of a sudden, having worked so hard to square things up again,
19.
at 17 apiece, Simon Santoso kicks again. that. We could see it clearly dropping in from our position. Santoso again opens the door to let Chen Jin back in. That was another of those points, Stuart, that could have gone either way at various times during the rally.
That's right. And that drift, the drift just does, that's the way it is actually moving the shuttle. So it's unlikely that those ones down that line will go out too often, unless it's hit a long way out.
It's long, we're all square again.
I think Chen spent most of the time on the ground on that rally, but still managed to win it. It's an excellent defensive play and horizontal on the ground at some points. There we go, laying on all fours. And Simon just looking to push that out into the back corner, but overhit it. So we see the court being swept now because the players were diving and leaving sweat on the floor.
Behind you, in the middle.
So the players take the opportunity to have another quick towel and drink for a final explosive effort before the end of this set.
Well, they just about deserve it, don't they? So many times the top seed Chen Jin has looked out of this opening game. Never more so at trailing 17-12. But he has it now. He never looks flustered, does he? Never looks worried. Just that ice-cold mentality. We're going to keep going. Another point. Let's go.
That's right. He certainly he hasn't seemed flustered at any stage in this match, and looks like it's all in control, even if you're 4 or 5 points behind, which is there we go. Just that explosive power to try and finish off this set and bring up the first.
Well, we were wondering when it was going to come. And there you just see it. And the chant of Chen Jin again. Game point. Listen to the applause. Such an appreciative crowd, and they love it when their man Simon Santoso in his underdog role keeps this one going. 20-20, so now it's not the first to 21, it's the first to 21 with a break of 2, so you have to win by 2 points until you get to potentially 29 apiece, and then it's just win a point and it's yours.
That's it, sudden death. Again, now we see the explosive power of Chen Jin to be able to finish the point early, and as we've been saying throughout this first set, that we've been surprised he hasn't used this more often, but obviously he's decided to use it when it counts.
And just to set up a second game point for the top seed.
We see both players taking just that little bit extra time. Chen Jin maybe giving Simon the opportunity to think about this point a little bit extra, maybe put a little bit of pressure on him. He knows he's had the lead all the way through this first game, so it's important that he tries to win this first set. But
oh, Chen Jin's just turning the knife at the moment, isn't he?
He is. There it is.
And there it is. The first game of the second men's semi-final goes to Chen Jin, the top seed, 22-20.
By Chen Jin, 22-20.
I think now, Stuart, more than ever is when Simon Santoso has to show some real mental strength, because that has to hurt.
Absolutely. He was on top nearly all the way through that first set, and really this is where he really does have to show his ability to fight through maybe a tough situation, and really I think the important thing is here, he can't get down too early in this one, otherwise Chen Jin will just run away with this match. He really does need to get off to a flyer of a start and use those very solid net shots that he does to set up that attacking play. See Chen Jin just laying on the floor at various times, but able to recover so quickly and still manage to get that next shuttle. He should have come back, and the control that he has from virtually laying on the floor is unbelievable.
Well, that's exactly it. I think you've hit the shuttle on the head. To throw yourself like that, not only get the shuttle back, but then be back in place for the next one, because you know it's coming back again every time. Remarkable. I just wonder if Chen Jin hasn't just had a word to some of his medical staff there as well, if he's taken a bit of skin off the knee in one of those diving moments. He has that right knee. He
has actually, and that technically he shouldn't be allowed to continue until the bleeding stops. So you may see the umpire or referee call for the doctor to get a bit of tape on that knee.
Well, here they are now with the first aid kit. The officials. Well, you'd almost be entitled to have your own Band-Aid man come out for that one, wouldn't you? Bondi Beach is one of the great attractions of Sydney. The sun and the surf, things that epitomise the traditional Australian culture. But they're stepping away from the beach this week and coming into the centre of town to the Convention and Exhibition Centre to see the Australian Badminton Open. Now, in one of those points just before the end of that opening game, both players were throwing themselves everywhere just to get the shuttlecock back in play, and Chen Jin, the #1 seed who won that opening game 22-20, just took a bit of skin off that right knee. You would have thought perhaps a little Band-Aid would do the trick. They've got the antiseptic, they're cleaning it, making sure it's all right. Stuart, what's the rules on the blood bin?
Yeah, so you're not allowed to continue playing if there's blood apparent at all. So we see him here just look to take a bit of skin off the knee in this next dive across, dragging that knee across the floor. And the floor is a rubberized floor, but it is actually a little bit coarse too. So if you do slide on it, you will take skin off. It obviously helps with the footwear as well to get that bit of traction.
More fabulous pictures as well coming to you from Darling Harbour. Some fantastic slow motion replays. You really get the full feel for just how athletic these players are.
I think this break from Chen Jin too will give Simon maybe a bit of a time to dwell on the fact that he's just lost a set where he really should have won that. So this could possibly play into Chen Jin's hand as well, because Simon will have spent the last minute or two thinking why he didn't win that set, and if he doesn't get over it quickly and focus on this one, we could see Chen Jin really run away with this very quickly if he gets a lead.
Well, it's Chen Jin, the top seed, who's just bided his time, hasn't he, in that first game? Behind as much as 5-6 points at one stage, and then just came out of his shell, flexed his muscle a little bit to take it. And you say certainly probably the best thing for Simon Santoso would have been to try and just get straight back playing again, put that disappointment out of his mind. And Chen Jin, former world #1, 2010 world champion in Paris as well, knows that so well. Just taking his time, needs a bit of a medical timeout.
And here we see him taking the opportunity to hit the shuttle down now. So I think from this other end you will see him attack a little bit more like he did in this rally here, and that could that could cause trouble for Simon.
Well, he's taken the opening point from the Indonesian, Simon Santoso.
Service over.
Well, he's looked at his hand there. I'm not sure whether that played too much part in him serving into the net, but anyway, that's just an unforced error.
But all those sort of little things will give Simon hope as well. Well, great recovery a couple of times there where it looked like he was heading the wrong way. Again, Chen Jin with just that efficiency of movement. Doesn't want to ever do too much, so he always gives you just that
Quick.
little chance that sometimes you think you can keep going for everything.
Thank you.
That's right, and Simon there, wonderful, being able to just turn defence straight into attack with almost 2 steps. He's in a defensive position. Chen Jin hits a slightly loose shot, straight up and smashes it down the line.
Simon.
Semi-finalist last year at Macau and China. Simon Santoso, runner-up already this year, 2012, in the German Open Grand Prix Gold, where he lost to a certain Dan Lin,
3-1.
who just happened to be the world #1, not just the top seed. So he must be getting a bit sick of seeing these Chinese players all ahead of him on the rankings and standing in between him and prize money and silverware.
That's right. Well, Lin Dan is most probably the favourite to win gold at this year's coming Olympics, and plays probably substantially fewer tournaments than the majority of the top players in the world, but he's still able to contain that #1 and #2 world ranking, playing less tournaments than the majority of the top players around the world. So he certainly peaks for the big tournaments, and has had an exceptionally strong record over the last 12 to 24 months. And here we see Chen Jin, 277 kilometres an hour, perhaps a metered leap off the floor and a big smash down the line. And again, that smash moving forward just in case the next one comes back. It's very impressive.
And the world record for a smash, I believe, sits somewhere over 300 kilometres an hour.
It does, set by a Malaysian, one of the Malaysians, but a doubles player actually. So, which doubles does allow you to have a partner there to back you up. Once you put all your effort into a big smash, you don't want to be trying to get the next one. So that's where the doubles partner comes in handy.
Brilliant stuff again from Simon Santoso, just when it looked as though Chen Jin was getting back into it with a huge smash of his own.
Well, the way Chen Jin's going here, he won't end up with any skin left on his knee, but it's a small price to pay for a finals berth. Again, the control to be able to get that back, and straight up again, but this time Simon so quick to the net. Oh, that's very, very steep. Not the same amount of power as the straight smash, but extremely steep, and that's landed very close to that front service line, which is exceptionally hard to get. We'll see it here. Yeah, very close to that front service line. Did take a little bit of speed off it to get that slice and steepness.
And he seems to have rebounded quickly enough from that disappointment then of losing the first game. He leads by 3, called out, leads by 4.
Well, he's done exactly what we said he needs to do and get off to a strong start. So we'll be interested to see whether Chen Jin can do what he did in the first set and peg it back when it counted right near the end, or whether Simon can keep this gap. Well, that's the speed. That's very, very quick, and that's a strong smash down the line, 230 kilometres an hour, and then to follow it up with a push virtually straight back to the body.
So quick to accelerate as well towards the net. Chen Jin, the winner of the Swiss Open just 2 weeks ago, round of 16 at the All England Open, one of the prestigious tournaments on the circuit. Round of 16 at Germany too. He'll be disappointed with those results.
Yeah, he will be. I think he was looking at All England especially and German Open to really try and consolidate that fourth spot in the world, and perhaps maybe it's a benefit for us because if he had, we might not have seen him here. So possibly a bit of a plus for us to see him here.
And in the semi-finals, looking for a place in the final. And again, you think Santoso, just when he's got the break, just when he's getting away a little bit, but then Chen Jin just reels him back in.
That one wasn't far from coming back over again. I think he almost retrieved that one, but a very strong smash down the line.
7-4.
Did brilliantly to get the first one back.
And Simon does like just to take a couple of steps towards the net after he's hit a big winner like that, just to make sure that Chen Jin knew.
A bit of eye contact after the point. Just missed. So again, the 3 points comes back to 2. Never blows out. Having said that, it was out to 5 in that first game. But Santoso had this moment in the first game as well, didn't he? Where he was riding that wave of confidence.
That's
and everything he was hitting was going in.
Oh, miss-hit that one. Well set up, well constructed rally too, and well set up, but just overhit that last shuttle when possibly could have been a slightly less powerful shot for a winner. And again, they changed the shuttle. Again, both players just taking that little bit extra time. The umpire's starting to get a little bit frustrated, but at the end of the day, they're both taking a bit of time, so it's not too much of a problem.
The Australian umpire has asked both players just to keep the pace up.
Their feet there. That's probably the best rally we've seen in this singles match so far. Chen Jin coming out on top. Again, another big powerful smash down the line, but both players retrieving shuttles that probably should never come back.
And again, when it's a big point, Chen Jin stands up, doesn't he? Using all that height. He serves now at 6-8.
And again, just that little bit extra time between the rally, finding a bit of feather on the court that he needs to move, which really doesn't cause any problems, but it's just a tactic that the top players use to slow the game down and play it at their terms.
And again, we see it. It's like the first smash is just the setup for the kill.
You're exactly right. He uses that first one to set it up, and we'll see it here. That's that first one, and then bang.
It's fine, play. It's a bit roughy, play. It's fine.
So Simon again just trying to change the shuttle. He's lost a couple of points in a row, so sometimes the tactic is to change the shuttle. Or the best thing he's done too is he's probably had a bit of a rest as well while he's been asking the umpire. So all these tactics the top players use to just to gain that little bit of an advantage when required.
Well, he took a couple of let calls, didn't he, in that first game as well, when he was leading as well, it might be added. Brilliant from Chen Jin, who squares it all at 8 apiece.
Simon's broken another string, so he's taking the time to take a drink while he gets a new racket out of his bag. And the umpire's going to have another chat to him.
Don't just take one. You're only changing your racket.
Eli Hoare.
Yeah, but you're only changing your racket.
The umpire there just saying you're changing your racket, not having a drink, not toweling down.
So he's managed just to pull another one out of his bag to make sure it's okay.
To make sure he makes the right choice.
And now we need to put a bit of powder on his racket too to make sure the grip's okay. So he's had a good minute and a half break now, so he's it's served its purpose. Wander over, pick up the shuttle.
Which he wants
asked to change the shuttle
again, which this time he can get changed. And then came straight back the last time. He had to play another point with it.
Now, obviously taking a new racket out of his bag, so I guess to have a bit of a hit with it as well. So he's probably had 2 minutes break, which is important when Chen Jin's just been on a bit of a run of points too. So he's used it as a tactic to slow the game down a little bit and try and start again. Yep.
But you don't want to make him angry either.
That's right.
Chen Jin, for the first time in this second game, leads Simon Santoso.
Sensational rally, and Chen Jin, 3 times he was sprawled across the ground and 3 times he got back up, retrieved the shuttle, and he's now also asking for the court to be mocked. But we see here on the replay just that smash down the line again, and he uses it so effectively to be able to smash down the line, and he knows he can move forward straight away on that one. It's very hard to hit a cross court from that position, so he can hit that smash down the line and explode forward.
He has been throwing himself about in these last couple of points as well. Gets the linesman in to just wipe down the court a little bit. You just wonder for poor old Simon Santoso, has the tide turned again? He'll have to dig deep. He does.
Service over. 9-10.
Amazing reflexes. You see in those replays just how fast everything is moving, how much pressure is on the bodies as well. This is wide.
Service over. 11-9.
So Chen
Interval.
Jin leads 11-9. Well, 11-9 to Chen Jin. We've been playing for nearly 50 minutes now, and we're just midway through the second game. It has been intensely competitive. Every point has been battled for, as you see in the highlights.
That's right, both players throwing themselves around. Both players managed to get nearly every shuttle back, and then just the explosive power from both players, but mostly Chen Jin in this second set has really been the difference.
Well, Simon Santoso's played some entertaining stuff, particularly in that first game here as well, when he had his moment. But overall, you just get the feeling that there's that professionalism in Chen Jin, which will just see through in the end. The fabulous, the unique, the one-of-a-kind Sydney Harbour. What a fabulous setting for these first ever Yonex Australian Badminton Open to be held in the harbour city. Jump on a boat, see the sights, and get in here to Darling Harbour for semi-finals day, where Chen Jin, the top seed, is just showing all his class at the moment. He's being pushed to the absolute limit, but you get the feeling he's still got just another gear to step up if need be. couple of let cords there in the end. Just going Simon Santoso's way. He closes it back to 10-11.
And Simon is known for very tight net shots and very skillful around the net, and I think that's why we see Chen Jin looking to push the shuttle to the backcourt all the time, and we see it just not tipping over the net. That could easily go over.
He does all the hard work, Chen Jin as well, but in the end, it's just an unforced error in the end that puts it wide. Simon wants the court to be rubbed down. The umpire saying, just do it with your foot, let's keep moving. There's one small child somewhere in the auditorium who's not happy with something. I don't think it's the badminton, which is of the highest order. Just out by Chen Jin.
Service over. 11-12.
This is becoming a real battle of wits, isn't it? To see who can just get the psychological edge over their opponent. They both have the most amazing repertoire of shots, and just when you think Simon Santoso is out, he digs a little deeper into that bag of tricks, doesn't he?
That's right. And again, the attacking play and being able to set it up with that push off the net, and Chen Jin again laying on the ground. But we've been going 52 minutes, and I think we sense the crowd would like to see a third set in this one. So it's at the moment the crowd's trying to lift Simon to a second set win.
The chai of Chen Jin in reply to Indonesia, which was just before. Both players hugely supported here. Could cut the tension with a knife.
Well, that one was called in.
Right on the line. Just before that, interestingly, Stuart, when Simon again just as though he wasn't going to hit the shot at all, and then just at the last moment.
Yeah, just misjudged that one. Thought it was going to travel out and realised last minute that he needed to hit that one. Chen Jin just again having a word with the umpire, asking if Simon doesn't can he refrain from signalling whether it's in or out to the line judge.
Fabulous angle.
Absolutely, expecting the one down the line again and just whip that one cross court with a bit of slice to make that shuttle just drop that little bit quicker. And on the line, Simon trying to get there with one step, but there's no way you can cover that amount of court with just one step.
Chen Jin again. The chant and getting a little bit louder as well. Perhaps they can feel their man in the ascendancy. What a disguise.
A little bit of deception there. Chen Jin looking for that one, flicking to the corner, and I think he was looking to try and jump up and smash that one for a winner, but Simon just delaying it and then using the wrist to just to lay the shuttle off cross court.
much longer can these two keep this up? Can they do it into a third game?
Well, I think the crowd hope they can, and we hope they can too, but Simon, just a couple of very, very tight net shots, but then Chen Jin able somehow to lift it all the way to the back of the court, and meaning that Simon can't get that the steepness and the power that he needs to get that winner through Chen Jin with his excellent defence. And again, they're just swapping the shuttle after it's been
battered.
Yeah, it has been. It has been.
Another huge, long and violent rally. (15-13). Chen Jin has led for most of this second game. That's a bad miss from Simon, and he bangs his head as well. He knows it.
There was a wide open court there. He'd set that rally up very, very well, and just again trying to overhit it, but possibly forced by Chen Jin because of his defence and his ability to retrieve those shuttles. And again, he was on all fours waiting for that one to come over.
Well, we saw Chen Jin turn around 5 points in the first game, but this is 3 points the other way now. Can Simon Santoso turn that around? It's missed wide.
That's the drift. That's the drift. The wind will carry that shuttle out down that line every time. So I think Simon's realised that just a lack of concentration there, and it's so easy to do in the middle of a point too. You forget. You're used to training in centres where there's no wind, but you're playing these big arenas and there's always wind. This is actually a very good setup. In a majority of the tournaments around the world, there will be substantially more drift than this stadium produces. So it's actually an excellent badminton arena.
It's certainly working to Chen Jin's favour at the moment. Oh, and again, the mistake by Simon. And all of a sudden, it's a 5-point game.
18-13.
Chen Jin getting a nod from the coaches, just saying, yep, that's exactly the right tactic. We need to force those longer rallies, and then Simon's very keen to try and finish off a couple of those, possibly a little bit of fatigue, and that's caused a couple of these errors late in the match.
He's obviously he wants it to go to 3 games and hopefully get a second win, but you wonder if he's not brought in a little bit of fatigue or something into the game. He's asking for those lets right from the start as he attacks that point and kills it early.
So I mentioned earlier on in the match that Chen Jin was really forcing Simon to attack a lot, and that can take a lot of energy out of you early on, and that's possibly a result of a lot of the lets he's asked for to try and gain some of that stamina back.
A bronze at the Olympic Games in Beijing in 2008 for Chen Jin in the men's singles. He wants to go back and go a shade or two better if possible in London. 2012, it's in from Simon. He's going to have to fight a little bit harder.
It looks like he's got a bit of fight in him too. Again, he's wandered up to the net just to make sure Chen Jin realised that was a very good shot.
18.
You see it here, and he just wanders up and has a look at him laying on the ground again.
He trails by 3 now. Simon Santoso of Indonesia, 15-18. He lost the first game, 22-20. No quarter asked, nor given. And how about that from Chen Jin?
Just a change of pace there, just explosive. Jumped up, cross court. Simon was not expecting that at all.
The chant of Indonesia, Indonesia again for Santoso. It needs to happen now. Match point for Chen Jin. And again, After just biding his time, after just waiting for the moment, he just steps it up the gear, doesn't he?
He does. Tactically, this has been an excellent match from Chen Jin. First set, he just moved him around the court and when needed to exploded, won 3 or 4 points at the end and took the first set 22-20. And now, again, he's just exploded midway through this section of this second set and has got a 5-point lead, match point.
Point. What a way to qualify for the final of the Australian Open. The top seed, Chen Jin of China, in his quest to make the London Olympics, starts here in Sydney with an appearance in the final where he will take on Vietnam's Tien Minh Nguyen after overcoming Simon Santoso of Indonesia, 22-20, 21-15. Now to look into your crystal. Look ahead to finals day. Tien Minh was very impressive as well, the 2010 Australian Open champion in overcoming the 2011 Australian Open champion Sho Sasaki. But can he match Chen Jin?
Well, if Chen Jin plays like he did today, the answer is no, I think. I think the power that he's got and the speed that he's got around the court is unbelievable. And that was a brutal match for Simon. Not very often do you see a two-set match go over the hour mark, and this one did, and it was only 21-15 in the second set. So it was a long match. Excellent tactics by Chen Jin, but Minh tomorrow from Vietnam has got his work cut out. Just see the explosive power of Chen Jin.
Well, that's how it finished. 1 hour and 1 minute, 22-20. He came from behind there, from 5 points down in that first game, Chen Jin, before running out 22-20, 21-15 to complete semi-final.